Yesterday, after classes, I, 17-year-old male, planned on chilling and working out with some of my friends at the school's gym. However, since my sister, Liv, 14-year-old female, had also finished her classes, I decided to do the responsible thing and drive her home. It was a colder day, so I didn't want her to take the bus. I gave Liv and 3 of her friends a ride to our house as they planned on hanging out there until evening. I then returned to school, worked out with my friends, and got home about 2.5 hours after I had dropped Liv off. I noticed that there were way more pairs of shoes around the entrance of our house, as Liv had invited more of her friends. I could hear them talking and laughing upstairs, but didn't pay much attention to it. After taking a shower and eating a snack, I went upstairs to chill in my room. I could tell Liv and her friends were in my room, since that's where their voices and laughter were coming from, and I got more suspicious as they all became super quiet when they heard my footsteps. Since they didn't have any business in my room, I barged in on them. There were about 6 to 7 girls in there, including Liv, and I asked them why they were in my room. Liv said that they were just chilling and that they all ran past me and left. I was furious because it was clear that they had rummaged through all my stuff: my cupboards, closet, shelf, even my underwear drawer. What was even worse was that I noticed my laptop was open. Liv knows the password since I lent it to her a few weeks ago. From going through the search history, I saw they went through my Instagram, looked at a bunch of my pictures, and put the heart eyes emoji on several different selfies of girls in my classes. I don't know what else they went through or how long they were going through my stuff. I was livid with this. I think Liv knew as much because her friends left around this time, and she came back up to my room. Liv gave me a pretty lame apology and said that she and the girls were just curious. I told her that I was beyond disappointed with her and that she destroyed whatever trust I had in her. She attempted to apologize again, but I told her that I didn't want to speak and that she could wait until our parents got home. When our parents got home, I explained the situation to them. Of course, they said they needed to listen to Liv's perspective too before they came to a verdict. Liv just said that her friends were very curious and that she was peer pressured into letting them into my room. Also, she didn't think I cared so much about privacy. I wasn't satisfied with this, so I yelled at her. I told her that I could no longer trust her anymore and that she shouldn't turn to me for advice or to keep secrets. I then started saying things like how I had no confidence in her whatsoever and that she was incredibly ungrateful. I wanted to say more, but my parents told me that I said enough, and Liv started to cry, so I stopped. Liv is grounded and I haven't spoken to her since last night. I do feel pretty shitty about it. For those wondering, my room door does lock, but I've never felt the need to lock it before. Am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the jerk. If all you did is yell at her, she got off pretty easy. This peer pressure excuse is nonsense, and you really don't have any idea what else she did to damage her belongings or your computer. She could have a lot more payback coming to her. Comment 2. Not the jerk. What's sad is that you sound like a pretty thoughtful older brother, and due to this personal violation, the relationship with your sister will probably never be the same. She really messed up. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the comments on my last post. I wanted to give you all an update on what's been happening since then. It's been a week since the incident with Liv and her friends invading my room. Things have been tense at home, to say the least. After the initial confrontation, my parents decided that Liv needed to understand the importance of privacy and respect. They grounded her for 2 weeks, took away her phone, and restricted her from having friends over for a month. During the first few days of her punishment, Liv avoided me like the plague. She'd leave a room as soon as I entered and barely said 2 words to me at meals. I guess she was really feeling the weight of her actions and the rift it caused between us. But then, something unexpected happened. One of her friends, the one who seemed to be the ringleader of the whole room invasion, came over to apologize. She stood at our front door, looking sheepish and remorseful, and told me she was sorry for disrespecting my space. She admitted it was her idea to snoop through my things and that Liv had been hesitant but caved under peer pressure. I was taken aback by her honesty and could tell she was sincere. This got me thinking about all the times Liv had my back in the past. Like when I was 15 and got into a huge argument with our parents about my curfew. Liv had snuck into my room that night, not to snoop, but to console me. She'd listened to me rant and had even offered her own curfew as a bargaining chip to help me out. Remembering this, I realized that while her breach of trust was serious, it wasn't unforgivable. A couple of days later, I came home from school to find Liv sitting on the couch, staring at the wall. She looked miserable. I sat down next to her, and we had our first real conversation since the incident. She told me how isolated she felt without her phone and how much she missed hanging out with her friends. But more than that, she missed us being siblings who could talk about anything. I told her about her friend's apology and how it made me see things differently. I explained that I was still hurt, but I was willing to work on rebuilding our trust. Liv's face lit up with relief, and for the first time in a week, she smiled genuinely at me. We spent the next few days slowly getting back to normal. I started to include her in some of my after-school plans, like when I went to the gym or hung out with my friends. She was grateful for the inclusion and made sure to respect my boundaries. Our parents noticed the change in our dynamic and were pleased to see us making amends. They even eased up on Liv's punishment, giving her phone back but monitoring her usage. Yesterday, Liv did something that completely took me by surprise. She handed me a letter she had written. In it, she poured out her feelings about the whole situation. She wrote about how she looked up to me and how her actions were a misguided attempt to feel closer to my world. She promised to never invade my privacy again and to be the trustworthy sister she once was. I was floored by her maturity and the effort she put into making things right. It was a jaw-dropping moment for me, realizing that my little sister was growing up and learning from her mistakes. Today, things are almost back to normal. Liv and I are talking again, and I've started to trust her more each day. She's been respecting my space, and I've been more open to sharing parts of my life with her voluntarily. As for my room, I've decided not to lock it. I want to believe that Liv has learned her lesson and that I won't need to. It's a risk, but one I'm willing to take for the sake of our sibling bond. Now, for the next story, I think some backstory about my family is important. My 25-year-old female, entire family has been overweight for the majority of my life. My dad, in his 50s, and my mom in her 50s, are both over 350 pounds. My sister, 27-year-old female, is over 400 pounds, and my brother, 29-year-old male, used to weigh 300 pounds. I started my health journey about 4 years ago after having a scare with my blood pressure. However, the real driving force behind my weight loss was my dream of being a mother. My doctor warned me of all the risks of getting pregnant at my size, and she offered a lot of support. At that point in my life, I weighed 470 pounds, and I knew my weight could negatively impact any pregnancy, so I buckled down. I started walking, seeing a therapist, and seeing a nutritionist. I also hired a personal trainer, and I developed a love for weightlifting. I lost 200 pounds in 2 years, and I got pregnant with my son. Since having him, I have lost another 90 pounds, so now I'm under 200. I also had a full mommy makeover. I'm really proud of myself. I wanted to give up so many times, but I just kept pushing. My brother also wanted to join my health journey, and he has lost 150 pounds. We are gym rats now. I ran this by my entire family before I started, and my sister was being supportive at that time. A few weeks ago, my sister announced she is pregnant with her first. I am so excited for her. She has always wanted this. Well, my mom asked about her weight, and my sister rightfully got defensive. My mom told my sister that she had complications with all 3 of her pregnancies due to her weight. My sister then said, "Weight doesn't matter during pregnancy." She then looked at me, and I didn't say anything. She asked if I agreed with her, and I said no. I could tell she was getting more upset, and she got in my face and screamed that I think I'm better than her because I lost weight, and she said I looked disgusting now. I then told her that being overweight while pregnant puts you at risk for preeclampsia gestational hypertension, and other complications. I told her I chose to lose weight, and that was the right choice for me. But she can do whatever she chooses, and I won't judge her. She needs to do what's right for her. I told her I don't think I'm better than her, and I apologized if I ever made her feel that way. She just started crying, and she cussed out our mom. She eventually stormed out. I don't understand what I did wrong. My brother and my mom are on my side, but my dad and all of our extended family that my sister told are saying I'm an AH, and I should be more sensitive. Her boyfriend told my mom she is really upset and she hates me. So that's why I need some impartial opinions. What did I do wrong, and am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Gynecology nurse. Weight does affect pregnancy, and pregnancy is dangerous for anyone. These are facts. Also, her weight increases her chances of endometrial cancer. Seriously, not a judgment. This is a fact. Comment 2. She hates you because she is fat, and you are not. Otherwise, she would not have picked a fight with you when you tried to just be happy for her and did not initially comment on her weight-based risks. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a week since I last posted about the blow-up with my sister, and let me tell you, things have been anything but calm. I thought I'd give you all an update since so much has happened. So, after my sister stormed out that day, things went radio silent for a bit. I tried reaching out to her, but she wouldn't answer my calls or texts. It was like she just vanished. My mom was trying to play peacemaker, but my sister was having none of it. My dad, who's always been the type to avoid conflict, just kept telling everyone to give her space. Then, out of nowhere, my sister's boyfriend shows up at my door. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. He told me that my sister had been really struggling since our argument. She felt like the whole family was against her and that her pregnancy was being overshadowed by the drama. He said she was heartbroken because she thought I, of all people, would understand her the most. After all, we grew up together, facing the same struggles with our weight and health. I felt terrible. I never wanted to hurt her. I was just trying to be honest about the risks. I explained to her boyfriend that my journey to lose weight was tough, and I did it because I wanted to be healthy for my son. I told him about the scare with my blood pressure and how it was a wake-up call for me. He listened, nodding, and said he'd try to help her see where I was coming from. The next day, my brother, who's been my rock through my own weight loss journey, suggested we all go to the gym together, like old times. He thought it might be a good way to show solidarity and support for my sister. I agreed, thinking it might help bridge the gap between us. But when we got there, we ran into my sister. It was the last place I expected to see her, considering how she'd been avoiding me. She was there with a friend, and the moment she saw us, I could tell she was upset. She walked right up to me, her eyes filled with tears, and said she felt betrayed. She accused me of trying to take over her pregnancy by making it about weight and health. I tried to explain that wasn't my intention, but she wouldn't hear it. She said that ever since I lost weight, I'd become a different person, and she didn't know who I was anymore. That hurt because I'm still me, just healthier. My brother tried to intervene, but she snapped at him too, saying we were both obsessed with the gym and had forgotten where we came from. The confrontation was intense, and other gym goers were starting to stare. My sister's friend pulled her away, and they left in a hurry. My brother and I were left standing there, shocked and unsure of what to do next. Later that evening, my mom called. She'd heard about the gym incident from my sister, who had apparently twisted the story to make it seem like my brother and I had ambushed her. My mom was upset, saying that we should have been more sensitive to my sister's feelings, especially now that she's pregnant. I tried to defend myself, explaining that it was a coincidence we were at the gym at the same time, but my mom was having none of it. She said that as the older sibling, I should be setting an example and that I had let my sister down. The whole situation has been a mess. My brother and I have been trying to stick together through this, but it's hard when it feels like the family is being torn apart. My dad is still trying to stay out of it, but I can tell he's worried about how this is affecting everyone. And to top it all off, my sister's boyfriend reached out again, saying that my sister is considering moving away because she feels like she can't be around me right now. That was a jaw-dropping moment for me. The thought of her moving away, especially when she's about to have a baby, is heartbreaking. Now, for the next story. I, 30-year-old male, discovered that my wife, 25-year-old female of 2 years, together for 7 years, has been having an affair with my brother. It had been going on for 2 months, about 2 weeks prior to me kicking her out. She told me she was unhappy and didn't think our marriage was working. I asked her if she was still in love with me, and she said yes. I asked her if there was someone else, and she said no. I asked her if counseling would help and if we could try it. She said she was willing to try. We have 3 girls together, ages 3, 2, and 4 months. I told her if she was truly done, then I would do right by her and the girls. I would move out to my parents' house and I would keep supporting her and the girls. She said she didn't want that. She wanted to work on us. I spent the next weeks and a half basically groveling and trying anything I could to make her happy. I truly thought we were on the mend. We were more passionate and we found babysitters and went on dates. Then, the day before Christmas Eve, she said she wants to do a little shopping. We were supposed to have a family date day and travel to go ice skating. I asked if we could go as a family, and she said she would rather go alone. When she got in the shower, I saw that my brother messaged her and asked if they were still meeting up at the mall. When she got out of the shower, I asked if she was sure she just wanted to go alone, and she said yes, that it would be faster. She was shopping with him for 7 hours. She came back with nothing but a big bag of Victoria's Secret and some jewelry, not even formula for our baby. She acted like nothing was wrong, just busy and lots of traffic. We share locations. To make a very long story short, she denied everything until the absolute end when I told her that her sister, who had been lying to me about everything too, told me everything. She admitted she's been sleeping with him. I kicked her out. The only reason I allowed her to take my youngest girl is because she was hungry and we needed that formula. And I wasn't about to leave my other babies to go to the store. The minute she left, she called my brother, then blocked me. I've been the primary provider our entire relationship. For 6 years, she's been on my phone plan and never paid a dime. I turned off her phone. Then I get calls from her sister saying that's not fair. On Christmas Day, I got in touch through a third party and asked if I could see my youngest daughter. She said only if I traded for my other 2 girls. I said no. I told her I wanted primary custody for the time being. I want her to see the girls, but only every other weekend until she has a room for them with beds and until she starts taking her prescribed antidepressants and at least actively seeking help. Am I the jerk? What should I be doing? Advice needed and appreciated. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. Take a paternity test. Lawyer up. But think about your kids first. An ugly divorce only knows one winner, the lawyers. Comment 2, is this for real? Because if so, take those kids and run. She doesn't deserve anything from you. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a wild couple of weeks since I last posted about the mess with my wife and brother. I've got some updates, and let me tell you, it's been a crazy ride. First off, I've been trying to keep things as stable as possible for my girls. They're my world, and seeing them confused and upset is the last thing I want. I've been taking them to the park, reading extra bedtime stories, and just making sure they feel loved and secure. It's tough, but we're getting through it. Now, on to the juicy stuff. After I kicked my wife out, things got even more heated. She's been staying with my brother, which is just... I can't even describe how that feels. Betrayal doesn't even cover it. But here's the twist. My brother's wife found out about the affair. She showed up at my door one evening, tears streaming down her face, and we had a long talk. Turns out she had suspected something for a while but didn't want to believe it. She's just as devastated as I am, if not more. We've been supporting each other through this mess. It's weird, but having someone who understands exactly what you're going through helps a lot. We've even started taking the kids out together so they can play and try to maintain some normalcy. But it doesn't end there. My wife has been trying to reach out to me, saying she made a huge mistake and wants to come back. She's been sending messages through friends, showing up at my work, and even tried to talk to me at the park in front of the girls. I confronted her, told her she needed to give us space and respect the boundaries I've set for the sake of our children. She broke down, saying she's lost without the girls and me. She admitted she stopped taking her antidepressants before the affair started and that it might have affected her judgment. I told her she needs to get help, for real this time, and that I can't just sweep everything under the rug. Now, here's where it gets even more complicated. My parents have been on my case about forgiving her and keeping the family together. They're old school and think that no matter what, you stick with your spouse. I love my parents, but they don't understand the full extent of the hurt and the breach of trust. As for my brother, he's been avoiding me like the plague. I haven't spoken to him since everything came out. I don't know if I can ever forgive him. He's crossed a line that just can't be uncrossed. In the midst of all this, I've been talking to a lawyer about custody and divorce. It's not something I ever wanted for my family, but I have to think about what's best for my girls. The lawyer's been great, helping me understand my rights and what steps I need to take. But here's the bittersweet part. My youngest daughter's been having a tough time without her mom. She's only 4 months old, and I can tell she misses her. It breaks my heart. I've arranged for my wife to see her, supervised, a few times a week. It's hard to watch, but I know it's important for my daughter. As for my other 2 girls, they're confused but resilient. They ask about their mom, and I tell them she's working on getting better so she can be the best mom for them. It's a delicate balance, trying to keep their mother in their lives while also protecting them from the chaos. I've been leaning on friends and family for support, and I'm starting to see a therapist to help me process everything. It's a lot to handle, and I want to make sure I'm the best dad I can be for my girls. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.